today I'm going to teach you something very, very special. Okay, I'm going to share something to do with creative writing.
Okay.
All right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. One sec. I'm going to share something with you. Yeah, here we go. Yes. Yeah. So today we are going to look into narrative, imaginative, or creative writing or story writing. Narrative
Okay.
writing is as the same as imaginative writing. Creative writing, you're creating something on your own. And of course, story writing. So these, story writing or creative writing is a form of writing that tells a story or personal experience. Have you ever narrated a story in front of the audience?
No, not yet.
No. Okay. Then what did you like to speak? What do you like to speak in front of the? Did you ever get an opportunity or receive an opportunity to speak before the audience?
Not yet.
No? Yeah.
Not.
Okay. Yeah. You need to be trained for that, right?
Yes.
Are you interested? Are you interested?
Yes.
Yeah, really? So that's very nice. That's a positive attitude. Okay. You should keep a positive attitude. Okay. So here, story writing, it's a form of writing that tells, of course, a story or a personal experience. Okay. Now, it is a piece of writing where you can see main characters in a setting who will encounter a problem or engages in an interesting, significant, or entertaining activity or experience. Okay, now
Okay.
let that be there. What are the now you are going to understand or learn the essential elements of a story. Simply, you cannot write a story, you cannot develop a story, you cannot create a story. You need to keep in mind some important, crucial elements, okay, before you write a story. Okay, so I have a diagram showing you the plot of the story, first of
Mm,
all. Yeah, if you have any doubt, you'll ask me. Okay, in between,
yeah.
you have to interact with me. So
Yeah.
the plot, yeah, the plot of the diagram is this. Okay, firstly, the exposition. First and foremost thing you have to keep in mind is exposition. Now, I'll tell you what exposition is. Can you tell me what exposition is? Do you have any idea about exposition? Have you ever heard about exposition?
I've
When
heard
you,
of it, but have no idea of it yet.
yeah, I'll tell you what it is. It is the introduction. It is the introduction to the story. Okay. Soon
Okay.
after I will explain to you in very simple manner after this. Okay. So
Okay.
don't worry. So now after the introduction comes the rising action. In a story, you have rising action. That's a conflict. There will be a conflict that will make or that will force the reader to read your story. An interesting conflict between two group of people.
Mm-hmm.
One group will be the group for the protagonist. One will be the antagonist. Protagonist means the hero of the story. Antagonist means the opposing party of the story or the villain, you can say. There will
Mm-hmm.
be a conflict between the two. Okay. And that
Yes.
will reach the climax. In the climax, you will come to know what it is all about. And slowly, after the protagonist will have to encounter challenges. Okay. And if he wins, then comes the falling action. That is, the whole story will take a diversion where there would be a falling action. That means everything will cool down, calm down. Okay, the story will calm down, things will be settled. Finally, we reach the denouement or the resolution. Finally, the problem gets solved. This is
Yes.
only a plot. Now, listen to me. Now, plot of the plot diagram. Now, you should know what is the plot of a story. What is a plot? Plot is the main event of the story. Okay, main
Okay.
important event of the story. It will explain what happens to the characters in the story, what kind of characters they are, okay, where they live, what they are doing, all this will come under plot. So plot is the main event of the story. It will have you characters will be introduced there. Okay. It will explain, the plot will tell us what the characters are doing, where they are living, the timing, everything. The plot always follows three divisions. That is the beginning, middle, and the end sequence. The beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the end of the story. Clear?
Yes.
Can
Yeah.
you tell me what the plot is now?
um,
In your
plot.
own words, in your own words.
Um, Plot is the main thing that happens in the story,
The main
and
happening, yeah, the main event or the main event or the main part of the story. Okay.
yeah, the main
Eh,
part of the story, and
mm,
then it explains about the characters and what they're doing in the story.
yes. Okay,
And
what kind of people they are?
yeah,
Characters means not only people, it can be animals, it can be things, they can be things, they can be animals. Okay, anything.
yeah.
Okay, a robot. Okay, robot.
Mhm.
Then, now tell me the last line. The plot is divided
Um,
into three. Yeah.
yeah, it's divided into three, like the
Mm,
beginning, the middle,
mm.
and the end.
And now you understood, that much you understood, that much you
Yes.
understood. Now, parts. Now we have the parts of the plot. You know what a plot is now. Now
Hmm.
we have the parts of the plot. So the parts of the plot, as I told you, which are the parts of the plot, the division of the plot you told me, last line, tell me.
Or the introduction.
No, no, yeah, of course. Under the introduction comes the parts, the last one. The plot follows the beginning.
The beginning, the middle, and the end.
Yes. Okay, now we are going to deal with it one by one. So,
Hmm.
the beginning is called the exposition or the introduction. We
Hmm.
are dealing only with the beginning part of the story. The beginning of the story, when you create a story, you should know that there should be a proper introduction. So, what will be the introduction? What will the introduction consist of, comprise of? Characters. Okay. So,
Yes.
this is where we meet the characters. Where do we meet the characters? In the intro. We
Hmm.
meet the characters in the intro. And what will we find there? We will find out where they are living and what they are doing. Okay. Now, when I say characters, you'll ask me what a character, what is a character in a story, and how do writers use them? So, character is a person or an animal or any being, any living being. Or it can be a creature, or it can also be a non-living thing, a thing in a story. Clear? Clear?
Clear.
Yeah. So, how do writers use them? They use characters to perform their actions and converse, speak dialogues, conversations, okay, which will help the story move forward, proceed forward, okay, along the plot line. Clear?
Clear.
Yeah. This is only one part of the beginning, that is the exposition. Now we have the second part, hook. You might have heard this. When you
Yeah.
write extended essays, your teacher, your ma'am, your miss might have taught you hook. Hook means an attention grabber sentence. An enticing hook, you say. A sentence that will grab the attention of the reader, okay, of the reader, so that he will not stop. With the hook, he or she should be engaged with what you write further. The hook should be so interesting, it should grab the attention of the reader. Something very interesting. There are various kinds of hooks, out of which I would love, like you can begin your story with a question or a quote or an anecdote. Okay?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
anecdote is an amusing story, a factual amusing story. Okay, based on facts. Okay, and funny story can be a funny story, but it should be factual. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Clear.
Now hook. Yeah. Now the second thing is hook. First we finished. We introduced the characters. That comes under exposition. Exposition means introduction. Don't forget that. Another name for introduction is exposition.
Hmm.
Okay. So in the introduction, we just introduce the characters. We just tell the readers who the characters are, what they are doing, okay, where they are living, and all that. And after that comes the hook. The hook should be an enticing one, an exciting one, an attention grabber sentence. Okay,
Okay.
understood, my dear. So
Yes,
after that, yeah. So it can come in the form of a sentence, statistics, quote, proverb, okay, and a question. Okay, anyway, you can begin, and also an anecdote, I said, as I told you.
yes.
Soon after the hook, we get the setting of the story. Even when you create I myself, I'm not boasting. I'm a dramatist. I am a playwright. So when I write my script, I see, first of all, I will think about the setting, how the setting is, how the setting should be, where and when the story should take place. I have to give a proper background, right? If I want to show, say, if my incident takes place in a church, I will definitely show the background of a church, right? Right,
Yes.
Aaron? Yeah. Same
Yes.
way, if I want to show, what shall I say, a palace. So definitely, I will show the background of a palace, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So when I did the Taming of the Shrew, Shakespeare's, Taming of the Shrew, have you heard? Shakespearean tale it is. So it
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the setting I had to give was palace. So I had to give three kinds of backdrops. Three palaces had to be shown three times. Okay, according
Yeah.
to the act and scene and all that. So same way in a story also, the story, of course, it can be transferred into a play also as well. All right, when you write
Yeah.
a story, it can be transformed, you can take it as a play as well. You can create your own dialogues and you can take it as a play. Okay, let that be there. Now, setting is when and where the story takes place, when, the time, and where the place. Okay, the setting initiates the main backdrop. So if it is, so for example, if we want to show a shop, if the happening, or if the incident is taking, the story is taking place in a shop, definitely you will have to show a shop, or a marketplace, you have to show a marketplace,
Yeah.
right? So the background, the setting will be a marketplace. So that's why they're saying the main backdrop and the mood for the story, what kind of mood it is, happy mood, sad mood, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it can also be a beach. The setting can be just, I cited some examples here. Your setting can be a beach, your setting can be a house, a church, a playground, etc. It shall also include the time of the day, as I told, when.
Yeah.
It can be, yeah, morning, afternoon, weather also, or the season, summer, winter, autumn, spring. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
my dear, understood? You got it?
Yes,
Got
miss.
it?
Got it.
So can you just tell me about the introduction first, then you explain. Now I'm your student. You tell me. What did you
Um,
understand from introduction, hook, and setting? In your own words. You don't have to read at all. Come on.
so in the introduction, they're talking about how the characters, what they're doing and what they're talking about,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
like,
Introduction, we meet whom? We meet the characters, because
yeah,
their names will be given. See, so and so. Tim is the character, and Tim is a doctor. So what is he doing? He's working as a doctor. Okay.
mhm.
So you have to mention the person and his designation, whatever they are doing. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
got
Now where they are living, right? Right.
yeah.
Now, what is the character in the story? You tell me.
Like the character can be anything, a person, an animal, or like any living creature.
Oh, okay, okay. And how do the writers use them? How do,
Um,
do the writers utilize them, manipulate them? Yeah.
they use them like the,
Mm.
like what do they
If
use
the
them?
if the if the if the characters stand in a dumb manner, will the reader be happy? See, they
No.
need to speak. They need to
Yeah.
speak. For that, the writer should create dialogues, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So how do you say that? Tell me.
Like they have to like they have to make actions and speak, like they have to
Speak.
play.
Yeah. And they have to They have to speak sentences in form of
Mm-hmm.
dialogues. We call it dialogues. Okay, they have to
Dialogue.
converse with each other. They share ideas with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Exchanges, dialogue exchanges. Okay, so that is
Mm-hmm.
very important. Now, next one. Speak about hook now.
A hook is when something like an event or something interesting comes in the story.
Yeah, interesting. What hook is? What is a hook, my dear?
A hook is when like a special event or something exciting or interesting is in the story.
Interesting. What? What? How will you present it in a form of a sentence? Hook is an attention grabber sentence, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I told you it can come in the form of question, anecdote,
Mm-hmm.
right? Proverb, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that is very important. Hook is very important. Why did I say it is important? Because it helps the reader to stay engaged and
Yes.
move forward. Don't forget. Okay, they will stay engaged and they will interest. They will arouse automatically interest. They will. It will arouse interest. The sentence will arouse interest in the reader's mind, and they will be forced to read your work further. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what
Yes.
about setting? Speak on setting, please. Speak on setting.
Yeah. Setting is when or where the story takes place or happens.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Like yeah,
For
like the
example,
background.
yeah, it can be a park.
Um.
It can be
Yeah.
a park. It can be a hospital. It can be a house. It can be a school, right?
Yeah.
Any place, right? It can be a forest. Okay.
Yeah.
It can be a mountainous area. Okay. So
Yeah.
that is very important. So you understood? You understood, or
Yes.
are you comfortable with my presentation and with my teaching?
Yeah,
Are you
miss.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then shall I go to the next? Yeah. Now comes the middle part. So I mentioned the beginning. The beginning is over. Now for a story, we have the plot, the parts of the plot. We have
The
beginning,
beginning, like the middle
middle,
and the end.
and now we are going to deal with the middle. So the middle part or the middle division of the story will have two, it's divided into two important elements. They are rising action and the climax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now what is a rising action? What is rising action? This is where things start to get more exciting, challenging. Okay, the characters here, they have to face a lot of difficulties, challenges, problems that they need to solve. They have to solve the challenges. Clear?
Yeah.
Clear? Yeah. Then conflict. Conflict is also the rising action. Now, what is a conflict? Same thing, what I said. It is a clash. There will be a clash. That is where the rising action begins. Rising
Mm-hmm.
action means conflict. I'm just putting it in a different way. Like
Yeah.
conflict is a clash between two opposing forces. As I told you, protagonist, the hero, and antagonist, the villain. And they will will have his followers, and antagonist will have his followers, his or her, whatever, and the
Yes.
clash will take place. Okay, that
Yes.
is the rising action, and it creates a thread. It knits the story. Okay, it
Yeah.
provides crucial important tension in the story, and which makes it more engaging and interesting for the reader to proceed with the story. Clear?
Yeah. It's
Clear?
clear.
Yes, yeah. Now, the next division is the climax. So, the middle division has two subdivisions: rising action, conflict, and the climax. See, my dear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. See, rising action, climax. This will
Climax.
come under middle division. And this is exposition, which is the intro. Clear,
Intro.
my dear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. So the conflict is a clash between two opposing forces that you know. Now, climax. This is the most exciting part of the story
Mm-hmm.
because the main issue, the main problems reaches its summit, reaches its peak, and the characters must find out. They are
Mhm.
forced to find a way to solve it. That is the climax. The
Yeah.
way they have to find out a path where they have to solve the problem.
Mhm.
So, rising action is the characters will face challenges and they will think about the problems they need to solve. Whereas the climax is the most exciting part of the story where the characters will find a way to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Clear? Now you describe. You tell me in your own
Um.
words what is the rising action and climax. And one more thing, conflict means rising action.
Mhm.
I just put it in without
Mhm.
changing the meaning. I have given it in a different sentence or
Mhm.
two sentences I've given in different sentences. Okay,
Yeah.
come on.
So rising action is when the characters face many problems and challenges,
Mm.
and they have to they have to try solving it.
Yeah, they have to solve it. They think
Yeah.
about, they discuss how to solve it. Okay, they
Yeah.
face challenges means problems and difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they need to solve it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that is
Yes.
the rising action. Yeah. Now,
Uh,
what about
cla-
the climax? What about the climax?
yeah. The climax is when the story gets more exciting,
Hmm.
and when the protagonist has reaches his peak,
Yeah,
and they
or
have to find like a
summit.
way
You
to
can say
solve the
summit.
problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the characters
And the
mind,
characters have to
they
like
must,
find a way to solve the problem.
they are persuaded to find a way to solve it,
So,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Now next one, and the last one is the end sequence of the story. That is, again we have two more divisions: falling action and resolution. See,
Resolution.
falling action, this is the falling action.
Mm-hmm.
Resolution, resolution means a solution for the issue, for the
Yeah.
problem, and it is also called as denome.
Mm-hmm.
Denome, N and T is silent. Denome is a French word. Okay, okay, it is a
Yes.
French word. Have you heard this word, denome?
Yeah.
No, no, yes or no? Have you heard this word, denome? Hello,
No.
Arlen? No, no, okay. So resolution can also be called as denome. Your te- yeah, if you are for IGCSE syllabus, definitely your teacher will mention this denome. Okay, all right, darling. Hello, 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 Arlen. Are you there, Arlen? I can't hear you.
Miss,
What happened? You got
yeah,
stuck?
Miss.
Some technical glitch going on?
Yeah, Miss. Yeah, Miss.
Now it's okay? Is it okay? Is
Yeah,
it
Miss.
fine? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, falling action, the end sequence of the story comprises of falling action and resolution. Now, let's see what falling action is. So, soon after the climax, everything will calm down. Okay? The
Mm-hmm.
seriousness will calm down. In every story, it is like that. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we see how the characters begin to solve problems. Okay, they learn
Yes.
how to solve problems. Slowly it will calm down, cool down, chill. Okay, and
Yeah.
then comes the resolution. Finally, the story will end. We will
Mm-hmm.
find out at the end, we will find out the characters have solved their problems and they are all happy. Sometimes the ending will be tragic, sometimes it will be a comedy.
Yeah.
It depends upon the writer.
Yes,
Understood?
Miss. Yeah, Miss.
Understood, my dear. Okay. This is how the story ends. We find what happens to the characters at the end of the story and how the problems get solved. It gets resolved, I
Mm-hmm.
can say. Okay, my dear?
Yeah,
Okay,
Miss.
that's the end part of the story. Now, if something very special about ending the story, before that, you must tell me how it ends. Come on, discuss.
Oh yeah. So falling action is when the characters start to calm down a bit and like they're trying to solve the problem.
Yeah. Then resolution.
The resolution is when they might find the problems and it might be solved.
Hmm. Yeah. This is where the problem gets solved and the
Yeah.
story ends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
That is the resolution. Now,